So 25 years from now, what we put in the time capsule on, what day is it? Sunday or Saturday?
Oh, this will be Sunday.
Sunday.
July 7th.
July 7th. Okay, I gotta be ready.
Me too, that's right.
What we put in that time capsule will be open in 25 years, will be open at our next celebration.
Okay.
And some of us will be around to see that.
I hope so.
Well, hello, Grand Rapids community. I'm Mary Jo Jess, and guess what? I'm here with Charlie Johnson. 25 years later than 1991. I can't believe how the time has gone, but in 1991, we celebrated 100 years of our centennial. It was a great celebration, and here we are 25 years later, and we're going to celebrate again, Charlie, by the opening of the time capsule. So we want to know what the time capsule is all about, and then we'll talk about how we eventually came to that burying of the time capsule. So, keeper of the time capsule, give me an introduction.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the time capsule.
Me? Oh, the time capsule.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, when we started planning the 100th anniversary of Grand Rapids, you were the chair of the overall committee.
Well, actually, I was the coordinator of the events, but Lark Huntley was
the chair. Okay, thank you for correcting me.
Well, that's 25 years.
You've been doing that for 25 years, correcting
right.
me. Anyway.
Not quite.
Doesn't seem like any time all has passed since
I know, right.
Well, as coordinator then, I suggested that we have time capsules. And I had done this in a previous community in Missouri when I had the paper there before coming to Grand Rapids. So I thought it'd be a great idea. And my regret from the other time capsule was it was not going to be anything exciting for the people that were there, because they would be long gone before it was opened in 100 years or whatever.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So I thought that it would be a great idea to have more than one time capsule and rotate them through. So we placed 4 time capsules in this vault on 25 years ago, and each one will be opened in 25-year increments. So we're going to be opening the first one coming up, let's see, Friday the 13th of May.
Is that an omen?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen when we open it up. You never know whether it survived. There's an interesting story. When we put these time capsules in the news article in the Herald Review, I mentioned that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they had buried in 1957 a full car, a Plymouth, 1957 Plymouth, and the idea was that it was going to be a contest, so when it was opened 50 years later, that whoever had guessed the future population of Tulsa in 2007 was going to win the car. And so they put the car in there, they had gas, they even had a six-pack of beer and other things.
Right.
They opened it in 2007. And this is after we had put our time capsules in. They opened it in 2007, and the car is rusted. It's just completely destroyed. So you never know what you're going to find when you get in there. So we're a little nervous about that, and so hopefully Friday the 13th is not a bad omen.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But we did everything we could at the time to make sure that what's in there will survive.
So Charlie, I know you came with this idea, and we were all excited about it 25 years ago. Where is this time capsule buried?
Well, it's at Central School. If you know where this semicircular wall is, it's in that little grass area there.
Oh, okay.
On the, what would that be? The northwest. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's in Central School.
Right.
So the 4 are there. We'll open one of them at 4 o'clock at the Chamber of Commerce's annual
the fishing
barbecue fishing opener, and Bud Stone is helping coordinate that with us with the Chamber, along with Lila Kroll of the Itasca Historical Society, who is acting as overall chair, our coordinator of this year's 125th. And so that's going to be a fun time. And
Do we all come with our shovels, or how do we
no,
get this thing
no.
out of the ground?
Grand Rapids City Public Works with Jeff Davies leading that group will help us. We're going to get a backhoe in. It's got several inches of dirt and then crushed rock around the capsule, hopefully to keep the draining the water away.
So is this in what kind of a vault is it in?
Well, I like to say a concrete vault, but
Yeah,
actually
right.
it's a septic tank.
Oh, all right.
So that was donated. And by the way, let me mention here that originally this was a real community project. We had people involved in donating a lot of services.
Mm-hmm.
The time capsules themselves are stainless steel, welded and fabricated and donated by Blandin Paper Company. So they made 4 of those for us. The Cohasset Concrete donated the vault. Sampson and Blair coordinated the construction. Casper Construction did the excavating. And Lang Nursery at the time did the landscaping for us to cover it back up.
Oh, sure.
My one regret is I had planned to have a marble marker of some sort at the site. We never did that, never found a way to pay for it. So perhaps after this is over with, we can get a little group together and decide what kind of a marker to place there for the time capsule.
Well, I think that would really be interesting, you know,
Yes.
especially for tourists that come through the area too, to see, you know, that the time capsule has been buried here, and it will be opened, you know, in 25-year increments. So within each time capsule, how big are these stainless steel capsules?
Well, it's hard for me to remember. They're out of the stainless steel pipe, as I said, and I believe they're about 24 inches high and perhaps 24 to 30 inches in diameter.
Okay.
I have some pictures of those, but it's next to me, so everything looks bigger next to me.
Yeah. I know. This is 25 years later, folks. So we're trying to remember, you know, what's in the time capsule. And there was a big group of people when we first buried that time capsule, and I think I remember my husband Lee putting a bottle of wine in one of those capsules. So either it's a wonderfully aged wine, or maybe it's exploded and maybe ruined everything. I hope not.
Well, I hope not. I think we took plenty of precautions, but we've learned a lot working with the Itasca Historical Society and some other sources. When we open this one, we'll see how those contents survived.
Right.
Because the next one has got another 25 years to go before it's opened.
Did you put a Herald review in?
Yes. Yes. Well, of course I did.
Of course you did.
Why would I not?
I know, that's right, exactly.
But people are using more archival paper now, just regular copy paper, acid-free,
Sure.
which is important. And so we've learned a lot, and we'll be discussing whether or not to try and use, depending on how we can seal the capsules this time, that we might put an inert gas in. A heavier than air gas in there, but we'll see. We won't know until we open it.
Isn't that something? I mean, 25 years went so fast, didn't it, though?
Yes.
Maybe we can talk just a little bit about what happened 25 years ago with this grand celebration. It was a wonderful week, and it was in June also. It started in Friday, June 28th, and it went through the 7th of July. So it was 9 days of celebration. Everything was planned each day. But I have a picture here, Charlie, that I want to show you. We have, this is our committee. Lark Huntley was the chair of the committee. And if we start from the left-hand side, that's Denny Brown. And right next to him is John Rife, and John Rife was in charge of the grand homecoming at the all-school reunion. Lark Huntley, Charlotte McDermott, myself, and Lee Jess, Todd Driscoll, and there you are, Charlie.
That's, yes.
25 years ago. Any comment?
Well, I didn't have facial hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I wasn't old enough to grow it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's true. All right, then on the bottom left-hand side, John Kelch, who is still executive director of the Judy Garland.
By the way, 1991 was the year they bought the house.
Oh, good. Was it?
Or the
Okay.
Garland house. So that was a momentous year for Grand Rapids.
Yes, it was, and really, the Judy Garland events went all week long, I think,
Yes.
throughout that celebration also. Betty Redding looks fabulous, and she was also a dynamic woman, you know, in Grand Rapids, making things happen. Sandy Lehman, at that time, was the director or chair or executive director of Chamber of Commerce. Marilyn Isaac, she worked for the city, and then Mark Miner. Anyway, it was a great committee, and there were celebrations. We had Founders Day open houses, there were band concerts, there were tours. Also, not only our city itself, but ICC had tours and celebrations. North Central Experiment Station with Dave Robus, they had tours and celebrations also. Homecoming events with the high school. There were, it was called the Great College Comeback at North Central. There was a great parade. There were arts and craft displays at the Grand Rapids Armory. There was a red check shirt day at the Forest History Center, so there was a lot going on. And then I think we ended it with the burying of the time capsule.
September 27th.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, well that's interesting. Why did we wait so long?
Well, we wanted to include as much as we could of the celebration itself.
Okay, right.
This time it's a little earlier than many of the events, but again, putting the new capsule in will occur at the community celebration itself on June 11th.
So we are digging it up on May 13th,
right.
waiting about a month later.
Correct. What the idea of the 4 time capsules is that we put in 4
Yeah.
and they rotate through. So the one that we take out today that's 25 years old, or this year that's 25 years old, will be refurbished, and we will replace the contents with items that will be opened in 100 years from now. So that as it rotates
Right.
through, at one point, every 25 years, the people of Grand Rapids will be able to open a time capsule that is 100 years old.
Exactly.
Our first one is 25.
Yeah.
The next one will be 50 years old when it's opened in our lifetime.
Right.
Okay.
Whoa.
Which would be when?
50.
25 years from now?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Exactly. Charlie, excuse me, I was going to think about, let me ask you this. Who is invited to put things into this new capsule, or how do we invite the community to be a
Okay.
part of that?
The space is limited,
Okay.
so we have to judge what we put in, and our goal is to put things in that people in 100 years would be fascinated to open. Think about things that we wish we could open or see from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe things that we don't think will exist in 100 years because of the fragile nature of them, or just those kinds of things. As far as the overall community involvement, outside of having representation in the capsule from the media, the chamber, the Visitors Bureau, the
Okay.
city, all of those folks that will be represented, and some of the major businesses in town.
Mm-hmm.
The general public is invited to participate by putting in a letter or a note to somebody in the future. As a matter of fact, the current time capsule contains a mailbox that we put in. That mailbox
Cool.
is got letters that people wrote to themselves or to somebody else that will be opened this year too. And we will then publish the names of who the addressees are, and they can come pick up whatever note they wrote to whoever. So postcards, those kinds of things, we will be announcing later how to participate in that. That mailbox then will be placed, it's outside the time capsule in the vault. So that mailbox is available every 25 years. So if someone, for example, you wrote a letter to put in this one to your kids, then in 25 years they would get that letter.
What a great idea for the
So,
public to
yes.
participate.
And then we'll probably also have a scroll that everybody in attendance at the burial of the new capsule, the 100-year capsule, that everybody that there can sign, and their names will then go in the time capsule itself. We're still working very hard on what goes in the capsule. The 4 capsules we put in originally are by necessity very similar, because they all occurred at the same time. All 4 were put in at the same time. And so they're dated back to 1991. That's the last century, you know, 1991.
It is.
But as it rolls forward, then the dates will be more current
Sure.
with the time. So in 50 years, it's likely that many of the items that we see will be similar to the ones we already saw this time. So we'll try and create new items through the mailbox.
Wow, that is that's really quite a process to go through all of that. But we will have items by, like you say, maybe certain businesses or the Chamber
Yes,
of Commerce, and
yeah.
but the general public is invited to write a letter or send a note.
Right. And there'll be more on the new time capsule. Right now we're concentrating on opening the existing one and the excitement involved there. And for everybody to participate in that, and then we'll get excited about the 100 years. I'd like to invite to the opening ceremony, and that's again on Friday the 13th at 4 o'clock at Central School Grounds as part of the community barbecue. We had an involvement of all the schools, the Murphy School kids and the St. Joe School kids. And many of them became keepers of the capsule. And they signed a pledge at that time that they would remember where this capsule is, and that they would make sure, to the best of their ability, that it was found and opened on the 125th. So any of those folks that remember signing that pledge as keeper of the capsule, and it was a little card like this. And so we'd like for them to come, and if they have the card still, that would be terrific if they show up.
Really? Well, did you develop this card?
Yes.
The keeper of the capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you read a little bit about that?
Well, it was keeper of the capsule, your name. I pledge to be a keeper of the capsule. I will try my best to see that the City of Grand Rapids holds a celebration for its 125th anniversary. This will all be updated to 150th
Sure.
anniversary with the new cards in 2016. I'll remember that the time capsule was buried on September 27th, 1991 by the Grand Rapids Centennial Committee, and I will remember where it was buried. I will remind those responsible for the 125th celebration to dig it up, the time capsule, and open it. And I will try to make sure that new things are put in the capsule so they can be opened again in 100 years later. I will try to find someone to take my place and be keeper of the next time capsule, which is to be opened in the year 2041, officially appointed by the Grand Rapids Centennial Committee. This is something that is very exciting to 10-year-olds, and that's who we've targeted to be involved, the middle school kids, because their imaginations are just amazing.
No kidding, right.
So that age group are the ones that really get excited about this. And by the way, they're going to be involved in planning the new capsule also.
Oh, great. So, I mean, I bet you could have hundreds of notes from the kids from the schools
Yes, well,
also.
we have pictures in the paper from that time where the kids
great.
were actually putting things in.
Oh, Charlie, that's great. You know, in 1991, we also had a proclamation by our current mayor at that time,
Yes.
Jim Houlihan.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if we couldn't even ask Dale Adams to have a proclamation.
You're talking about the new one?
Yeah,
Yes.
the new one, right.
That is in the works.
Oh, good.
The 125th is shared this year by the county and the city, who were both incorporated at the same time. And the involvement of the Itasca County Historical Society has kind of brought the two together. So both the county government and the city government will be involved. Also, in 1991, Congressman James Oberstar had a flag flown over the Capitol, which in honor of the Grand Rapids Centennial,
Wonderful.
which he submitted to us and was placed in the capsule, which will be opened in 75 years from now.
Okay.
It was placed this year. Congressman Nolan will be doing the same, having a flag flown over the Capitol in honor of Grand Rapids and Itasca County.
You have done a lot of work getting this whole thing.
It's just started.
It's just starting, right?
Also, I should mention that Senator Saxog is presenting a state flag for the capsule, for the 100-year capsule.
And that will be on June 11th.
That'll be June 11th.
June 11th.
Yes.
So we really invite the community and everyone around to join us as we unfold and we dig up. Well, actually, the vault will be dug up, but we'll open the time capsule on the fishing opener, which is Friday, May 13th, late in the afternoon, I think, isn't it?
You don't know how close I came to making a serious error.
What's that?
Today. Well, it was probably 12 hours ago I found out the fishing opener was not on the 6th. It was on the 13th.
Well,
so I was prepared to come here and say, we're going to do this on the 6th.
Right. But you know what? I can understand that because usually the fishing opener is around the Mother's Day time. But
Right.
you know.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad I got that before we got on here with it.
Very
It is
nice.
the 13th.
It is
Tell
the
everybody
13th.
it's the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. You know, the barbecue is on Central School grounds. It's always a nice, fun, big event. And so we invite the
Yes.
community in that little circular area on the grounds where we will open that time capsule.
That would be the northwest corner.
We
You know-
tried that already.
Oh, it's-
Didn't work. Oh, folks. Anyway,
All
this
right.
has been just great talking to Charlie Johnson again. 25 years later, I can't believe where that time went. Isn't it said the older we get, the faster it goes?
Well, it would be nice if they could just use the pictures from 25 years ago, the
Let's do
video.
that. Yeah.
No, the video of us
Oh, yeah.
25 years ago.
Oh, right.
And just dub in the voices.
That would be great.
You know, we'd be sitting here like we were 25 years ago
Yeah.
talking about today.
Because I'm sure you wouldn't recognize us now.
No. All right.
But anyway, we'll wind this up. But it's an important year. Here we are in 2016, 25 years later than 1991. We buried that time capsule as part of the centennial celebration at that time, and now we're going to open it. So we invite the community and all those around just to enjoy and come and see what's in the capsule. And then the Historical Society is going to have a celebration on June 11th.
Yes, the overall.
The overall
centennial.
celebration, right.
Yeah, all right.
Anything else you'd like to say to wind this up, Charlie?
No, I think just the community support's been terrific. I'm glad to see the excitement building for everybody to come to the Central School grounds and share with us the excitement or the disappointment of opening this and see what's in there.
Exactly.
And help us plan for the one that's going to be placed. And we'll be making announcements about all of that after this opening.
Welcome back to Grand Rapids. I know you've spent time in Florida over the winter, but we'll see what happens on the 13th.
All right. Thanks, Mary Jo.
Good to see you.
Thank you.